Senate demands full timely implementation of defense budget. On the foreign scene, Turkish President Erdogan appoints hardline prosecutor as justice minister. And in sports, National Sports Commission gives 26 athletes 200 million naira Commonwealth Games grant. And now the details. I am Akan Usen. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has inaugurated local government renewed hope coordinators across the 20 council areas of the state. Governor Sanwo-Olu urged the local government coordinators to comb the grassroots to ensure that they cascade and create awareness about all the promises, programs being implemented by President Bola Tinubu's administration. According to the governor, President Tinubu has birthed a new Nigeria and kept faith with all electoral promises, reduced debt burden of the country, stabilized the economy, building infrastructures across the country. Chief of Staff of the Governor of Lagos State and Renewed Hope Ambassador for the state, Tayo Ayinde, noted that the group is not political, but a national movement of engagement, public sensitization and responsibility to project the activities and programs of the Tinubu's administration and ensure active participation of the people. Speaking in a vote of assurance on behalf of the coordinators, representative from Ikorodu local government area, Japhet Odesonya, pledged their commitment to delivering on the mandate given to them. Goodwill messages were delivered by the Southwest Zonal Ambassador Adedayo Adeyeye, who represented the Director General, Renewed Hope, and Governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, State ambassadors from Osun, Ondo, as well as Southwest, with the Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, Speaker of the State House of Assembly Mudashiru Obasa, party chieftains and faithful, youth leaders, ethnic groups, other stakeholders in attendance. Our correspondent Adeola Akindele reports that the Lagos Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Lawal Pedro, administered oaths of allegiance on the local government coordinators, while Governor Sanwo-Olu handed over new bosses to them for effective coordination. Lagos State government has distributed provisional letters of allocation to the initial 180 traders out of about 3,000 affected by the redevelopment of transnational market Alaba along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. Special advisor to the governor on EGIS and urban development, Olajide Babatunde, noted that when traders pay up to 25% of the cost, their letters of allocation will be given to them, while 50% payment will reduce risks of paying interests within a 6-month payment cycle. Babatunde described the steps taken as part of the regeneration efforts of the state government into transforming the market to international standards with modern facilities. The chairman, Central Committee, Alaba Market, Mohammed Lajawa, who spoke on behalf of the traders, commended Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu for fulfilling his promise and appealed for speedy completion of the access road into the market to enable them move their goods into allocated shops. The event took place at Labka headquarters, Muiz Banire Road, Old Secretariat, Ikeja. And now to the rest of the stories. The Senate has called for the full and prompt implementation of Nigeria's defense budget, warning that delays could undermine efforts to tackle insecurity across the country. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Defense, Ahmed Lawan, made the call during a budget defense session where the Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, presented the ministry's 2025 performance review and 2026 budget proposal. Lawan assured that the National Assembly is ready to ensure the armed forces receive the resources they require and expressed concern over what he described as the slow pace of implementing the 2025 budget defense. The lawmaker questions how the government intends to move forward with the 2026 budget if the current year's allocation has not been fully executed. Lawan stressed that defense spending cannot be postponed, noting that any delay could give criminal elements and insurgents an advantage. He insisted that security agencies must have their budgets implemented without delay to effectively secure the lives and property of Nigerians. Stakeholders from Makoko, Shogunro, and Okwagbon communities in Lagos State have agreed with the state government to constitute a 10-man committee to conduct a self-enumeration of buildings affected by recent demolitions. The committee is expected to complete the enumeration exercise and submit its report within 2 weeks to the Lagos State House of Assembly Ad Hoc Committee on Rules and Business. The stakeholders also resolved that affected residents should refrain from rebuilding demolished structures until further notice. The resolutions formed part of a 5-point agreement reached during the stakeholders' meeting held at the House of Assembly complex in Alausa, Ikeja. Other agreements include the regeneration of Makoko communities without displacing residents, as well as a commitment by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Geographic Information Service, Babatunde Olajide, to provide an orthophoto showing the demolition boundaries within 1 month. Speaking after separate meetings with representatives of the Makoko communities and state government officials, Majority Leader of the House and Chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee, Nohim Adams, urged all parties to abide by the resolutions. He stressed the need for transparency in the self-enumeration process, noting that the community's data will be compared with government records. And now to foreign news. Turkish President Recep Erdogan has appointed Istanbul's chief public prosecutor, Akan Usen, as the country's new justice minister. Gürlek replaces Yilmaz Tunç in what marks the first major cabinet reshuffle since Erdogan's re-election in 2023. During his tenure as Istanbul's chief prosecutor, Gürlek oversaw a series of high-profile investigations targeting members of the main opposition Republican People's Party. His office notably handled cases against Istanbul Mayor Ekrem İmamoğlu, a prominent Erdogan rival who has been in pre-trial detentions since March 2025. The appointment has sparked swift criticism from opposition figures. In our sport, Tottenham Hotspur has sacked manager Thomas Frank following the 2-1 home defeat to Newcastle United. The Dane, who joined Spurs last summer after a highly successful spell at Brentford, where he consistently overperformed with limited resources, departed with the club languishing in 16th place in the Premier League table. The team has failed to secure a single victory in the 8 league matches played in 2026, a sharp decline that ultimately cost him his job. And that's all for the news at 4. Ensure you make use of your seat belt while driving. Follow us and like all our various social media platforms. On X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961, YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on my Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration completed and inaugurated 120 units Cortland Villas, Igbokushu, Lekki? You can get more details on the Lagos State government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State government has distributed provisional letters of allocation to the initial 180 traders out of about 3,000 affected by the redevelopment of transnational market Alaba along the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. The Senate has called for the full and prompt implementation of Nigeria's defense budget, warning that delays could undermine efforts to tackle insecurity across the country. We also told you that Turkish President Recep Erdogan has appointed Istanbul's chief public prosecutor, Akin Usen, as the country's new justice minister. And in sports, Tottenham Hotspur has sacked manager Thomas Frank following the 2-1 home defeat to Newcastle United. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. And that ends the news broadcast compiled by Adirayo Idowalaya. I am Akan Usen. Thanks for listening and please stay safe. Good afternoon.